Hi everyone, today we'll be talking about string expressions, which is a neat way of adding strings and other data types. There's some pretty interesting behavior, so stay tuned for some awesome features. We've already mentioned strings before, and they are a more complex data type than basic or primitive data types like ints, floats, or booleans. The extra complexity is something we can use with string expression, which allow us to add those other data types onto strings. Strings themselves are set up as a list of characters. We'll come on to more of that later, but the general idea we need to understand now is that a string, such as the word hello, is made up of the characters HELLO, which might seem a touch confusing, but don't worry, we'll go through it together. String expressions basics. How does all of this tie into string expression? When we talk about string expression, we're talking about adding primitive data types to strings or adding other strings to each other. Our main focus is adding strings and other values together. This process is also called concatenation. Let's look at how we can add two strings together. This process is pretty straightforward, and the results we get are usually what we expect. If we have two strings hello and there, we would add them together using the plus addition sign. So the expression would look something like hello plus there, which would result in hello there. Notice how there isn't a space between the words. If we want one, we need to add it ourselves with a string that contains a space or add a space before or after hello or there. Here are a few more string plus string examples. Taxi plus cab would print taxi cab. Pineapple plus space plus pizza would print pineapple pizza. Note the extra space in the middle. That's how we can add spaces. Or Anita plus Bella prints Anita Bella. We didn't add a space here, but you could. String expressions with ints and floats. We can use string expression by adding strings with ints or floats, which is pretty cool. When we use string expression and ints or floats, we add the characters of the numerical numbers and don't perform any mathematical operation. Let's have a look at some examples. Hi plus 5 prints as high 5. K plus 9 prints as K9. And pi colon plus 3.14 prints as pi colon 3.14. Keep in mind the different combination that can come from using string expressions. For example, we can add a string that contains a float and an int together, and we return the string of those two values put together. As an example, we have string 3.14 plus 159, which prints 3.14159. Note that we have a string plus an int. Or we have 3.14 string plus string 159 prints the same 3.14159. But if we have print 3.14 plus 159, it would actually print 162.14 because we are doing addition and not using strings as there are no double quotes present. This is just to help highlight the difference. String expressions become quite powerful when we start incorporating multiple values and variables into them. Let's break down an example. So we have a string variable called str and we assign the value 1 plus 7 is space. We can use this variable in our print statements and combine it with our expressions. When we add strings together in this way, we're not completing the math operation, but instead creating a lost string. So these two together would actually print 1 plus 7 is 17. You can see when we're using string expression, the usual math operators are ignored and everything is combined into one string. String expression with booleans. Next on the list is using string expression and booleans. This can be strange to see at first, but hopefully the examples we have will clear up any confusion. As we know, booleans only hold a true or false value. When we use the string expression, we can add that value that the boolean holds. Let's have a look at a simple example. We have print status dash plus true. This would print status dash true. Again, note the lack of space. Game over is colon space plus false. What prints game over is colon false. Note that we have to be careful when we have added a space and when we haven't. There are some really cool things we can do with this and Boolean variables. For example, instead of printing the literal value, we can print the value stored inside a Boolean variable, even after we have changed it during our program. Pretty cool, right? Let's take a look. Here we have Boolean order ready equal to false, then the string ready for collection colon space plus order ready. This would print ready for collection colon false. If we update the order ready variable, order ready equal to true, then ready for collection plus order ready would print ready for collection colon true. Notice how we can track the change in the variable, and also remember that we are printed or returned with an entire string and not parts of a string. String expression with characters. Well done for making it this far. It has been a lot of content. For our last string expression, we're using characters. This is quite familiar to the first string expression we looked at with the other strings, and the behavior should be familiar. Let's start off with an example. If we have a string containing the letter H and a character containing the letter I, using string expression, we can add those two together and print out the word hi. So H plus I would print hi. Remember, characters can be almost any symbol. While we have seen numbers and letters, we can also add other symbols. Let's go through some more examples. So 50 plus the percentage sign would print 50%. The dollar sign plus 4.0 would print $4. And the last one, have you seen my dog plus question mark, would just simply print out the question. Note that the order can be changed around. So far, we have mostly seen examples where the string is placed in front, but even if we have a character in front, the string expression still works. This applies to the other expression we have seen today too. That's all for our section on string expressions. We hope you found it useful and we'll see you in the next section.